20 lessons that we have learned. And let me tell you what.
Is there only 20?
There's only 20, but some of them have been some hard lessons.
Roll your eyes.
I know, you did just roll your eyes.
I did because that was early on.
Yes. What do you think about core values today? It always starts with a mirror, doesn't it?
Yep.
Some of our hardest lessons.
I should have lived with a mirror for the first.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I thought that was just a bunch of rigmarole or an old wives' tale of working on the business over as opposed to in the business.
Yeah, we didn't even really know the difference for the first 10 years.
I'm like,
We're going
well,
to go back
that's
to that.
dumb. So I'm like, well, why would I not want to work in the business?
Yeah.
It probably goes back to, I don't know, 1 through wherever we are of
Yes.
control.
Yeah. Letting go of some of that control.
You've got to let go of some control.
Yeah. Welcome to the Lasting Business Solutions Podcast, Indy's launchpad to sustain business success, growth, and leadership. My name's Renee Lucas, and I am your host. Well, I tell you what, I have been reading, actually my entire team, my leadership team, we've been reading Developing the Leader Within You from John Maxwell. And we are actually on the last chapter, chapter 10, on personal growth. And John said that on his 40th birthday, he wrote a lesson titled, I'm 40 and Counting. And then on his 50th birthday, he wrote a lesson called I'm 50 and Reflecting. And then he wrote a lesson on his 60th birthday, and he wrote a lesson on his 70th birthday. So Travis and I had an idea for a segment to do 20 years and learning. So thanks, John Maxwell, because from your lesson, we have developed our lesson.
Yes.
So I have Travis back on here with me today. Travis is my husband and co-owner of LCS Heating and Cooling. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm coming up on the 50th year of what you talked about.
I know.
So did you say reflection? Is that what you said?
That 50 and reflecting, yeah. So you'll have to write your own lesson next year when you turn 50.
Next year I'll be reflecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, for now we are learning. So LCS Heating and Cooling just hit 20 years in June, and so it's a really big milestone for an anniversary and something that we're very proud of. But in those 20 years, we have 20 lessons that we have learned. And let me tell you what.
Is there only 20?
There's only 20, but some of them have been some hard lessons.
Yes, very.
Okay,
very
so
hard.
we're gonna start rolling. So number one, one of our lessons that we've learned in the past 20 years is to understand your financials.
That's probably should be number 1 through 20.
It totally should. So if you'll recall from our very first segment that we ever did with the podcast, Travis and I talked about how for 10 years, we ran our business at a 0 to 2% net profit. We never had cash flow issues, but we didn't understand how to run a business. And so investing in ourselves, learning that, making the financials part of what we do every single week and every single month, having metrics in our business, it's completely changed things for us.
Yeah, and not knowing the numbers, looking back, it's actually kind of scary.
It is kind of scary. Yeah. And I will say, I don't feel like necessarily, because we ran for 10 years without knowing our numbers, I don't think we would have gone out of business, but I think it had a serious impact on our quality of life and the quality of life within our business.
As far as when you say within, like, employees and whatnot. Yeah. Benefits and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We couldn't offer anything. We couldn't do anything. We had no money. Right?
We were on a job this morning with one of the Milwaukee press tools. And Dylan goes, how did we do this without it? I said, if your company doesn't have profit, you don't have these.
That's
because it's a very expensive tool.
Right.
And I said, we look at it as a luxury now when it's not. It's a necessity. And if the money's not there,
you don't get
that.
it. No. And it's a game changer for the actual job and for the people who are using and doing that work.
Oh, it boosts the morale.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like Christmas. When you're doing your Milwaukee tools, it's like Christmas.
It is. They love it. So.
All right. So understand financials. Number 2, figure out your why. Early on in our business, I had somebody that recommended Simon Sinek's book. And I'm probably going to mess the title up, but it's Knowing Your Why. And I don't know. I kind of didn't take that super seriously at first. We were in business with this is what we do sort of thing, but like getting to the why we do this, I didn't understand the value of that for a long time. But how has that changed things for you, Travis, now that we know our why?
Well, I would have said the same thing, but my why was knowing, helping people.
Yeah. Serving people.
Serving people. Knowing when I got done and left that house, I gave them my all to make sure I left that in a better place than when I got there.
Yeah.
So,
I'll hear some of our installers say sometimes they'll be like, is this the job that I would do for my mom? Right.
Yeah.
And so they kind of put that into perspective. And so knowing your why, like, why do we do that? What gets you out of bed? For me, really, really learning about myself that I like setting goals and I like helping other people set goals and I like meeting goals and I like seeing people meet their accomplishments and grow in their career and all of those things. So understanding the why in your business gives a renewed purpose and a passion and helps you get a little more focused.
For sure.
Okay. Number 3, develop core values. Another, what I would call fluffy thing.
Yes. Roll your eyes.
I know you did just roll your eyes.
I did because that was early on.
Yes. What do you think about core values today?
Core values, we actually, we use them, and sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard because we've had to terminate people from the company based on our core values.
And then there's core values that we have that keep us in line.
Yeah.
And it makes us run a great company.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
It builds a culture and a company culture for what we want. When we started the business over and started again, one of the things that we really focused on is, what do we not like about our business right now? And what do we want to work with every day? Who do we want to work with? What type of person, what type of drive, what type of ethics, all of these things, right? Your core values help to establish that.
Yeah, it keeps guardrails up.
Yeah.
And
have you ever had to fire a customer?
Yes. And it's not fun.
No.
Unless they've put you to the point that it's fun when you say
bye. Yes. But a lot of that even comes down to our core values, right? And so, there was somebody that I talked to not very long ago who wasn't very respectful when speaking to one of our employees. And that, that's a non-negotiable for us, and so that's one of those things is how we speak to each other, the respect that we offer, knowing that we're all doing our best here. Those decisions come down to your core values.
Yeah, we've had to have that a couple times with customers where they treated one of our team members the wrong way. And I don't care how much money you give to the company. It's not about the money. As far as what you've hired us to do.
Yeah.
You're not a customer of ours anymore.
No. So it's funny because core values not only develops the culture that you have internally, but it also attracts the type of client that is the right fit for you as well.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Number 4, don't be held hostage in your business. And a lot of times, I know our experience, it might be from like an employee, right? So what do we mean by this, Travis?
Well, early on, when we'll call it the Travis HVAC company.
Oh, when it was Travis Heating and Air Conditioning? Yeah.
Yeah. So we would hire our first employee and then maybe our second employee.
Yeah.
And if I got too busy to do the things that they were doing, and then they're like, well, I can just leave and you're going to have to do all the work.
Yeah.
That was where I was held hostage.
You start to live out of fear of
losing somebody
because then all of that work's going to fall back on you, right? And so I would say there's been instances where we absolutely made decisions out of fear.
100%.
That were not in the best interest of the business.
Yeah. I don't know. That's tough. Yeah. You don't want to lose this person.
Yeah.
So therefore that decision to keep them on, even though the other team members are like, hey, we got to get rid of this person.
Yeah.
Well, we're held hostage.
Yeah.
And if you're held hostage, you're probably, me and you were probably doing something wrong because we shouldn't have to worry about held hostage if all the team members are on the team.
Yeah.
And they want to be on the team.
I completely agree. They always say too, if you have to part ways with somebody in your business, like they should never be surprised, right? And you should never be surprised. Yeah. If you have a healthy business and a very healthy culture, neither party should be surprised that something's coming. And so I would say today, it's rare that we are really blindsided or surprised by something, right? The first 10 years,
Oh, I was waking up wondering we're going to be blindsided around the gate.
I know.
It happened all the time.
Or just that living out of fear, right? And so many times when we make decisions like that, we're actually stunting the growth of the business. We're affecting the morale among the rest of our team.
Yep.
We are affecting maybe the service that our clients are getting. There's a number of things in there because we are being held hostage. So that is a hard lesson learned. And we always say that, like, we will not be held hostage anymore.
I got a couple friends that own businesses, and they're to this day, you can say they're probably held hostage
by themselves.
But at any moment, if one of their people quits, everything falls on them, and it's not a fun place to be. But if you are in that position, you got to look in the mirror. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's a really good.
You kind of put yourself in that position.
It always starts with a mirror, doesn't it?
Yep.
Some of our hardest lessons.
I should have lived with a mirror for the first.
I know. Me too. Yeah. Me too. Right. I think, Travis, something that you just hit on as well is I think sometimes we're held hostage by ourselves too, because we're afraid to let go of some of the control that we have in our business. Mm-hmm. That may be ego driven. It could be living out of fear. It could be a number of things, but it's one of those, like, if we don't trust in people, if we don't invest in people, if we don't do all those things and we keep control of every little thing in our business, you're going to cap really, really fast. You're held hostage by yourself.
Yeah. Definitely. I know for me, it wasn't ego. It was fear of we're going to mess something up.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
Yeah.
Things are going to get messed up and everything can always be fixed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Number 5, change is hard, but necessary.
Oh, yeah. I remember. Yeah. Where do you want to start there?
Well, we've gone through 2 kind of rebuilds and restructures of our business, right? Mm-hmm. Change is hard. I'd say one of the biggest things right now that's affecting businesses and is going to affect business is AI.
Yep.
Right? So when I was at Harvard at that program in April.
Now I didn't go. I wasn't invited.
It was a women's thing. Yes, that's why. That's why. But at that program, we did a case study on a retail business that kind of missed the boat on the internet, right? Yeah. So they didn't have a strong presence. Fast forward, he was telling us as business owners, the professor was, that AI is the internet to this retail business. And if you miss the boat on it, you're going to be in trouble. Well, right now, there's so much AI in front of us, right? We could use AI for this, that, and the other. But it's kind of like, how do you distinguish between like the bright, shiny objects and what can actually propel and assist your business? That's a big change that's coming. And I think there's a lot of fear out of like, will positions be eliminated? It's not about that. It's about using it as a resource.
Yeah. I mean, Riley at the office, he's been talking about it a lot, and I'm so nervous because who's driving it, who's pushing the levers of AI,
right? It's like the Wizard of Oz.
Well, do you remember back when it was Cha-Cha?
Oh yeah you called Cha-Cha
Carbo based, you called Cha-Cha, but there was someone back there online looking the answers up for you.
So you imagine there's like a bunch of
there's a bunch of somethings out there kicking this AI. So it's coming.
It's aliens.
It doesn't matter. AI's coming.
It's here.
Yeah. Well, you're right. It's here.
I mean, it's really here.
How are you going to utilize it? How are you going to use it in your business?
Right.
And because we got someone in our office going, hey, when you get on this boat, the boat's leaving.
Yeah.
And we kind of got thrown on the boat.
But it's not even really just like when we talk about change, we've made the mistake before where, we decide we're going to change something and bam, like we're excited about it and we might have had 10 minutes to think about it and then we just throw it at our team without a plan. And all that does is freak people out. Yeah. It scares people, right? So when we're talking about change is hard because you have to learn what the change is needed. You have to understand why it's needed. You have to make a plan to learn about what's going to change. You have to make a plan to train everybody else to implement it, to hold people accountable, to maintain. I mean, there's so many things that you have to do with change. It's hard, and that's why people avoid it. Yep. But it's necessary to make sure that your business continues to thrive.
100%.
Okay. We always say you've got to be careful who you vent to or who you brainstorm with or things like that, right? And so, like, Travis, like, you're my person, right? And I think I'm your person for a lot of things. But there are some times that I know that Travis is not always like my person for like initial brainstorming. And the reason is because you're a data guy. Like I like data. I like all the research. I like all of this stuff. And if I don't come prepared, it overwhelms you and sets you off sometimes, right?
Yeah, it does. And it puts me in a bad mood. So
it does because and I know
I'm not
you.
The person.
Well, for that, so my best friend, who's also very business minded, there might be an idea that like, I'll go to my best friend and bounce something off and just be like, hey, have you done anything like this with your team? Right. Or something like that. And so that might be my person for that. Right.
And my person is, and for the record, you probably shouldn't have your person you're going to really shouldn't be a lot like you. Oh. They need to be different. My person's, most of the time I reach out to Tony out of Knoxville.
Yeah.
To bounce some things off of. If I've got a bottleneck, a wrench in something in the business. Yep. He's probably been there. He's probably done it. Mm-hmm. And he actually is way less on level 10 than I am. So
right. He might be able to like think it through a little bit before reacting, right?
Yeah. I don't need another me if I'm reaching out to that person.
You know, that's a really good point too, because I think we are drawn. They say opposites attract, right? And so that is very true. But I think we can also be drawn to similar personalities.
Get a person that can listen and also they're willing to give you feedback.
Yeah.
That person.
And you've got to be open to it.
Oh yeah. You cannot be one-way road.
No.
No.
All right. Nobody's going to want to be your person if you're not open to, to talking.
You won't have a person.
All right. Make time to work on the business. We talk about this, working on the business instead of in the business.
I thought that was just a bunch of rigmarole or old wives' tale of working on the business over as opposed to in the business.
Yeah. We didn't even really know the difference for the first 10 years.
I'm like, well, that's dumb. So I'm like, well, why would I not want to work in the business?
Yeah. You know, there was a class that we went to very early on, and he talked about the whole premises of the class was having a business that could run without you. And Travis and I were both
That's dumb.
Why would we want a business that could run without us? That's dumb. Like I have this business because I want to be in the business.
Yeah.
Well, then later we learned what that really meant. Yeah. And we're like, yes, we don't want every single thing to have to run through us. We don't want to have to make every
waking hour.
Decision.
Yes. Of everything's coming to us.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, if your business is like that, you've created that. We created that.
100%.
And it's taken us a long time to undo that.
That probably goes back to, I don't know, 1 through wherever we are of control.
Yeah. Letting go of some of that control.
You've got to let go of some control.
Yeah, absolutely. Understand too that when you're initially trying to make time to work on the business, it's generally not going to be between the hours of 8 and 5. Mm-hmm. Like it's generally going to be early in the morning, or in the evenings, on weekends, something like that. But I know for me, like if I know that there's some work that I want to do or I need to do on a weekend, if I'm in the mindset that I'm going to take 4 hours on Saturday and do this, I'm excited about it. I look forward to it. I love doing it. But if it's something that like hits me and it's because of chaos or something like that makes me have to do that, I'm pissed about it. Yeah. Right?
Mine was super early in the morning.
Yeah.
Because until 7:30, there was no one calling me.
Right. After 7:30, game on.
Game on. Then it's like phone call.
Yeah.
So working on the business for me was super early in the morning. I'm not an evening person.
Yeah. So knowing that about yourself.
Yeah. I can't get anything done in the evening. So I had to make a choice. I'm getting up early and working on the business.
Yeah. Yeah. So important.
Yep.
Travis, one thing that I'll say about working on the business as well is we did that strong for a couple years, very diligent plan for that. And we had some great results that we wanted. And then we had a period of time where we were working on the business pretty regularly. We weren't in the business as much, right? Well, fast forward, as the business grows, you're going to hit some points that just kick your butt, right? And they require maybe some restructuring and rebuilding. We're actually going through that right now. And so Travis, I'll say as we shifted 10 years ago from working in the business every day to working on the business, that lasted for a few years. We built the business. We got the results that we wanted. We built the team that we wanted and the culture of the company and everything else, right? And then you hit these growth periods in business, right? And so if we want to take it to revenue, for example, so, that first time you do 1 million in revenue, it looks a lot different than when you're doing 500,000 in revenue, right? And then the next point, might be that 3 million and that 5 million and that 6 million as you get to these different places in business. And you'll find yourself, we have found ourselves this year working more in the business again instead of on the business.
Yeah.
Now, I know to keep ourselves on track, we've kept a vision in front of us, right? When we were challenged to really sit down and what's your vision for the next 3 years and how's that going to guide you to help balance your time between working in the business and working on the business. As we've kind of restructured and rebuilt again this year, have you found that challenging to go back to working in the business a little bit more?
Yeah, from the standpoint, I don't have the tools.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. You kind of lose that skill set.
When you say in the business, for me, it's physically in the field, helping the team.
Yes.
Well, I don't have the tools. I could not have the right screwdriver and it screws the thing, screws things up. So yes, it's a challenge.
Yeah, it is. And it's getting back to, because then we have this thing of oh my God, we don't want to live to where we're in the business all the time. So how do we continue to develop our team? If you guys remember Andy Lichty from last segment, we were talking about sales and business and things like that. And after we were done with the podcast, he talked about this analogy. It was this Japanese plant, right? You throw the seed in the ground and it takes 5 years to actually sprout. So nothing happens, right? And what's happening is the roots are growing. And then all of a sudden after that, it grows 100 feet in 2 years or something like that, right?
Type of stuff.
So Travis, I think it's really important to kind of summarize this one here is that sometimes working on the business is working back in the business again.
Well, yes. And you got to have that mindset.
Yeah, you do.
Because it can be tiring.
Tiring?
Yeah, well,
physically, emotionally, mentally, all the things. Yes.
So know that if you're going back in the business, it is to push the company forwards.
That's a really
It's not permanent, and it better not be a long time.
Yeah.
Because then the numbers back early on in your 1 through 20, something's going to give if you're in the business too long.
That's a really good point. Yeah. So have a vision and have some goals for what you are trying to do in the business so you don't get sucked back in. You working in the business, you're not just out running service calls. Yeah. You're doing a lot of training of our management team, our leadership team, so that they can grow and then it'll continue to help level up the company as a whole.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Number 8, figure out a morning routine. This one is so important. I know for me personally, you mentioned before that you're a morning person naturally. I'm not. And this is something, my mornings would often start out very stressful and frantic and a little chaotic. And that's the vibe that I would have throughout the day, right? A lesson that we've learned in the last 20 years is when you have a strong morning routine, it sets the tone for your day. What's your morning routine look like?
Well, I work out.
Yep.
Maybe get in the hot tub if I've got time.
You get in the hot tub every morning.
Because I like looking. It's night and I see stars.
Yeah.
I like in the wintertime over the summertime because it's dark.
Yes.
My biggest thing now is being able to look at my calendar that I've been wondering where that was. Everyone at the office it's in your calendar. And I'm I found this calendar. I'm there's all my
I don't know where my calendar is.
It brings my stress down because I can see my day as opposed to getting on the computer, getting on the desktop, getting on mobile. So my routine is get up, go down and work out a little bit. Not a long workout.
Sure.
Can I squeeze in the hot tub? If not, great. Look at my calendar. Yep. Get my cup of coffee. And now I'm ready to roll. I'm not panicked when I leave the house.
On missing something or being late to something.
Well, the office calls at 7:45. I'm are you on your way? And I'm on my way to what?
Yeah. And that sets the tone for the rest of the day.
It's ruined the rest of the day, yes.
Yeah, I agree. A morning routine has done the same thing for me. I start with 20 minutes of exercise. I do 20 minutes of reading and 20 minutes of planning my day. And it feels good. It brings a calm. When I'm doing my planning, I've got the dog sitting right beside me. And I love that piece of the morning too. And so it's really been a game changer for us to have a morning routine.
Yeah, last week at the conference, I learned that cortisol plays a big thing at night and in the mornings.
Yeah.
Dr. Huberman, look him up if you've never followed him.
Yeah.
My cousin does, and I didn't know him until he was at the conference.
He was a great speaker.
10,000 lumen light is what you need in the mornings right when you get up. Now, I tried it the other day with just light, and I had to cover my eyes, and I was man, these are for 2,000. So it's something that I'm going to try to add to my morning regimen of have it in the basement, kick it on, and get woken up because it kickstarts your day.
Yeah. I love that. And it's always learning. That's one of our core values, going back to core values of education and training. How can we learn? It's personal growth that we've talked about here in the John Maxwell book as well. I love it. All right. Number 9, figure out the root cause of issues. Don't just fix the symptoms. So this is one that we've really been focused on this last year, actually, is when we do have an issue. So say we have got a customer that's upset with us for some reason. First of all, how are we getting to that point? Right? Like there's a lot of things that have happened between here and here to have somebody that's angry, right? Or asking to talk to a manager or wanting to talk to the owner of the company or whatever. And so we've really been working with our management team on what is the root cause of this? Like, let's not just fix the symptom. Okay. But what happened here? Where did we have a process or a system that broke down so we can go in and tweak that?
Yeah.
Anything to add to that one? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It's like a quarterback. You throw an interception, they probably look at film pretty quick in the NFL.
Yeah.
You keep throwing interceptions, you don't look at film, 20 interceptions later, how did it get to this point?
Yeah, how did we get here?
It's the exact same thing.
Yes.
Why did we let it go this long?
Right. So remember, when you're doing a quick fix, it's most often a symptom, not the root issue. Okay, number 10, focus on the position, not the person.
That's a tough one for me. I struggle with that. But you do too, because we get attached. I'm going to say we get attached to a person because we like them.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that person's right for the position, good for the company.
Right.
Moving it forwards.
Absolutely.
You're right. You get focused on the position, not the person.
Yes. So look at, like, in your business, what do you want the responsibilities of this position to be? What do you want the outcome of this position to be? And then you need to find the right person for that position. Yeah. So many times, and we've done it, so many times you try to mold something to fit a person. Well, then what happens if that person quits and is no longer with you, then you're trying to fill something with no real definition, and you don't even know what you need because the position probably hasn't performed well for the company because you didn't have the right person in it in the first place.
Correct.
Right? It doesn't necessarily mean, like you said, that they're not the right person for the company. They just weren't the right person for that position.
For that seat.
For that seat, yes. So determine the position and what you want out of the position first.
Yep.
Number 11. Oh, and these are in no particular order, by the way. Have fun. Right? Have fun. How long did we go where we got to a point where we were not having fun in our business? Like, it was truly a job that owned us and was like burying us in the ground.
Yeah. And that lasted a long time.
It did. But now look at the fun we have. We have 4 company outings a year, 3 to 4 usually. Try to do things with our employees' families. You and I aren't the only ones that go to conferences anymore. We try to take somebody with us when we can and when it's the right fit, right? And so there's a lot of ways that we can have fun. One of our core values, find fun in every day, right? And so every day is not going to be an amazing day, right? But it's what you make of it.
What's what you make of it? Can you find fun in that day somehow?
Yeah, you can. You can. For the most part, you can. Yeah, gratitude, fun, any of those things. And celebrate the wins, right? That's something that one of our mentors was just talking to us about. Like, what have you done to celebrate this lately?
Yeah, which honestly, we've gotten way better at it.
Yeah.
And we used to not be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we would focus on
the next thing, improving next thing.
We fell through the drywall, or we did this, or we did that, and we get fixated on that.
Yeah. And we forget all of the other, like, we just did 50 jobs and we had a mistake on one. Yeah. Well, what about the other 49? Those are worth celebrating.
Yes. And say you have let's call it a $5,000 mistake, but say the company did $5 million in revenue.
Right.
What's $5,000?
Right.
At the time,
it's a lot.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Overall, it's pennies.
Yeah. And then we go back to look at the root cause, the root cause of that issue, not just a symptom, and that'll prevent that $5,000 mistake from happening again and again.
But remember, there's always fun in every day. There always is.
There is. Okay, number 12 and number 13 go hand in hand.
Oh.
Number 12 is invest in training, and number 13 is invest in training for others. And so when we started investing in training, we invested in ourselves, which we needed to. We needed some serious business training, financial training, and it was important that we started with that. But they always say, business owners will say, what if I invest in training in this person?
And they leave.
And then they say, but what if you don't invest in them?
And they stay.
That is so true.
It is, because if you invest in the person and they leave, you know what? It's okay.
It is.
They have a better opportunity, but there's a really good chance if you invest in them, they're probably going to stay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because people recognize when you invest in them and it feels good. And a lot of businesses don't do that. Mm-hmm. So when you're the unicorn that does, it's amazing. Yeah. We had one of our installers, this has been about a couple years ago now, he decided to switch careers and he went into accounting. And, it's one of those things is, we could have been upset by it. Like, he was a great team member. He did really great work, very likable, all of the things. Like, we were really sad to lose him from our team. Mm-hmm. But I was really excited for him that he had a path that he found that he was passionate about. And through that, we worked with him. He continued to work with us on more of a part-time basis when he went to school. He came back in the summer when he was off, and it was crazy busy for us. Yeah. It helped us a lot. And still to this day, like, I know that he would refer our business.
Yes.
All the things.
And back that up 10, 12, 15 years ago, I would have had resentment.
100%.
I would have.
Yeah.
But
you would have taken it personally.
Yes.
I would say.
Yeah. And wrong mindset, but that's what it was. But now it's yes. If you found a better opportunity, go kill it.
And it's not better, I would say. It's different, right? Maybe there's something that you're more passionate about.
Yes, not so much better, I guess, but just go kill it at whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Go win what you want to win.
Yeah. Have that mentality as a business owner. Like, we're going to support you.
Yeah.
We're going to support you through that. And we appreciate all that you've done here, but invest in people here so that they can be their best while they're here.
And I think a lot of employees at other companies, they're almost afraid to come up to the owners and say, hey, I found something different.
Yeah.
And they don't go after that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I would agree. All right. Number 4, there's a process.
Number 4 or 14?
14. Oh my God. You were like, what? There's a process between doing it yourself and letting go. Don't set people up for failure. So we've done this about a blue billion times.
That even pops in every once in a while for me still.
I know.
Because you got all the knowledge up here and you just give them a small playbook as opposed to the whole playbook.
Yes. And then there's not usually time that's spent. There's no plan to teach. There's no plan.
Then you're like, well, why did you mess that up?
Yes.
Well, you gave me 2 pages out of the 10 I needed to read.
Yes. Yes, that is so easy for business owners. And that's been a very hard lesson of ours. By mentors, we're told on one side, like, you have to delegate, you have to give some people, a little bit of rope to learn some things on their own. But what we tend to do as business owners is we're like, okay, today I'm doing this. Tomorrow you're doing it. Good luck. And then when they fail, then we're mad about it.
Yeah. You want smarter people than you on the team.
Yes. But you still have to teach them. Yeah. Right.
You got to teach them everything you can give them. And ultimately, you just want smarter people on the team. That's true. That is, as I figured that out. It took me years.
It took you 20 years.
I don't want anybody smarter than me. No, I need people smarter than me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's something we're still looking at is as you grow with that, you become more of a coach than anything. We've talked about that is because it can be frustrating. Like, we've had our business for 20 years, but you've been in our industry for 30, And so when you think about that, when you have somebody that comes into a new position, especially take a management position, right? Mm-hmm. It can be like, gosh, why don't they know this? Or why aren't they doing this? Or how is this not common sense sort of thing? Well, you've got 30 years and they've got even say 10, right? Like that's a really, really big difference.
That's a hard thing for owners, owners, whatever you want to, even CEOs, whatever you want to say, to understand that you have 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the knowledge of this other person.
Yeah.
You got to give them slack.
Yeah. It's time. So have some sort of process between doing it yourself and having someone else do it so you don't set them up for failure. All right. Number 15, control your calendar. Ooh, this is a big one. I know death by meetings.
I suck at that. And I'm horrible. I'll even have something on my calendar and I still miss it. It's right there.
It's there.
How did you miss it? I don't know.
That's self-discipline.
That's discipline.
That's self-discipline. So have some self-discipline. Control your calendar. Make sure that you stay in control of your day.
I've got reminders now going off all the time. And I'm like, oh, why is my phone going off? And then on the below, got to call at 1:00. I'm like, yes, saved me.
But you know what? Find your system.
Yes, control your calendar.
Yeah, control your calendar.
Look at that calendar in the morning. So
know when to ask for help. This is a big one. Rely on other people. We talked about having a person.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So Tony's yours. Dawn's mine. We're each other's. But sometimes our mentors, like we have a mentor that's leading our management team through this book. Mm-hmm. We recognize that like, hey, we need some help developing our management team and that it needs to be outside help.
You can't do it all.
No, you can't do it all. Absolutely.
It's possible.
All right. Have a strategy for money and seasonal work if you're in any sort of a seasonal business.
Ours isn't.
Ours is.
I know it is.
Extremely seasonal. One of the things besides the obvious of like, we've got times when we're really busy, summer, ACs are breaking down, and we've got times when we're really slow. Fall, 70 degrees outside, nobody needs us, right?
How about this week and last week?
Oh,
we
dead
went
slow.
We went from Dylan said, he goes, we had nothing to now we are booked.
Yeah, we're tapped out again, right?
I just had a conversation with the homeowner. I left earlier today. I said we went from 1 or 2 jobs to now we're slammed. Hence, that's why I'm out here.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's a very tough thing to juggle.
It is, but I think you get to a point in business too. Like this year, there were a couple people on our team, and panic is a strong word, so I wouldn't say they panicked, but there was this like, oh my God, it went from being like super busy to it's really slow. And as the leaders of the company, we really had to say, yeah, that's normal.
Yes.
Yeah, but here's our strategy. We're not just going to sit around and wait for the phone to ring.
Yeah, we're going to go after it.
Yeah, we're going to go after work. We're going to have an outbound strategy. We're going to have a follow-up strategy. We're going to have all of that. But the strategy is important.
Yeah.
And then knowing too, when you have those months where you're really bringing in some good revenue and you're profitable, that has to carry you through the slower months. So don't go blow it. Don't go blow that money.
Exactly.
Save it. We tell our team all the time, like, don't be going out and buying the newest and greatest iPhone and a great big 80-inch TV because
and all the
slow time's going to come. All the Milwaukee tools you
probably
want.
already have. Yes. You just want the latest thing.
I just want the fan and the radio. Okay. This is a big one. This is actually one of your personal lessons that you want to share. Know that you deserve it and you've earned it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a tough one because you take time off and you feel guilty.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you feel like you haven't earned, but it's remembering that as a business owner, think of the iceberg picture, right? Mm-hmm. What people see is the tip of the iceberg. What an iceberg really is and what it takes to have a business is all of the things underneath that you can't see in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of work, it's tears, it's stress, it's liability. It's risk. There are so many things that a small business owner takes on. So if you have that time where you want to enjoy some time off, or you want to take that trip, or you want to buy that bucket list car, or whatever it is, right? Know that you deserve it and you've earned it.
I wish there was docuseries of a lot of businesses of where they started.
Yeah.
To now.
Yeah.
It would be probably mind-blowing.
Oh, I'm sure. There's a lot of self-made millionaires, and people look at millionaires, even billionaires out there, and they say like, oh, they're so lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, they were born into it. Oh, but in reality, very few people are born into that. Most people are self-made.
You're right. And they see million, billion, and they just assumed it just showed up.
You're lucky.
Yeah. I can remember carrying a shovel through a crawl space, digging dirt to try to get heat runs installed.
Yeah.
That, I don't want to ever go back to that.
No.
I don't want our...
That's a start.
Yeah.
And look at where you are now.
Yeah. And I don't want our team to do that. That's why we have, somewhere back in the 1 to 20, we shifted what we did. And I think you talked to Andy Lichty about shifting your business.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put our guys through that.
Right.
To say, hey, I don't want you to have to do what I did. It's almost like the parents. I don't want my kids have to do what I did.
Yeah. So then you try to have a better life for them, or you try to do something differently.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Number 19, be empathetic, compassionate, and forgiving.
Yes.
This is hard for me. On the disc profile, my S almost didn't register. So it's a really hard one for me.
For me, it's pretty darn easy. I see someone on the side of the road with a flat tire.
Okay, so this is the difference between Travis and I. He immediately stops and help. I immediately question if they're going to kill me. Yeah. Right? And
I'm rolling the dice that I know this person's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So. And I think too, there's a balance of that, because in business, being too far that way or being too far my way of thinking is bad either way. So you have to learn how to have boundaries.
Yep.
Or you have to learn how to be empathetic to somebody else. You have to learn how to have some compassion. You have to learn how to be forgiving.
Yes.
Right? It's tough, but it's very, very important in business. All right, number 20. This is our last lesson that we're going to share of our 20 years. Finding passion and purpose after the initial excitement is gone.
Yes. It used to be, it was super fun. Yeah. Especially when you started the company.
Yeah.
It was almost like a... It wasn't a job.
No.
It was a hobby.
I'm working for myself.
Yep.
Nobody has to tell me what to do. And I can get up whenever I want to.
Well, I still got up early and I would work long days, but it was a hobby.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, I'm not sure I like this as much. And then it turned to, you can get to a resentment.
Yeah. And that's a place where you can end up living for a while. And it's really important to make sure that you have a passion and a purpose in front of you so you don't.
Yeah.
I think that passion and purpose will change as the business grows and as you get older too. We started the business, I was 25, you were 29 years old when we started that business. Our vision, well, it really didn't exist in our 20s.
I was just going to work until I was whatever. It was just going to be me.
Yeah. But I think it's very different now that we are where we are in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very different on a personal level and on a business level.
But when I got to the level of resentment, I can't give you a year.
Sure.
Let's call it 2011. I don't know, 11. We go back to, you better have somebody. You better have a person.
Yeah.
We didn't have a person.
No, not at that time.
Not at that time. So therefore, you get to the resentment level and then you're just upset all the time. And then you start regretting it. And then you're like, well, I can't keep this up. So
you spiral down very, very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so
having a lot of this 1 through 20 will keep you from getting to that resentment. If you decide to start a company, you're going to find out it's hard and you're going to find out you may get to the resentment stage. And then most people who get that resentment stage probably shut their business down and go work for somebody.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want that. And I think what your phrase is, I'm unemployable.
I'm unemployable, yes.
So
you're not.
I'm not. But yes. I think a lot of these pointers were, we didn't have 1 through 20 when I got to that point.
Yeah. That is so true. One of if in the next 20 years, something on our list will be to get a coach early on and stuff. I mean, there's so many other lessons that we have that are not on this list.
We say, if we could back up 10 years, things would be totally different.
Yeah, it would be. And so some of these things is passion and purpose. And we go back to like core values and having a person and things like that. And it feels fluffy. It feels like it has nothing to do with business, but trust us when I say it has everything to do with business.
It's 100% the truth.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that coming up.
Right. So
we didn't know this stuff existed.
Learn from our mistakes.
Yes. That should be 21.
Yes. Learn from our mistakes.
So.
Okay. That concludes our 20 lessons that we've learned in our 20 years in business. Yeah. But I'd love to know from you, if there's something here that resonated really well with you, I'd love for you to drop it in the comments and let us know what that is. If there's a lesson that you've learned in your time in business, please share that, because we learn best from each other.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I'll say has been just so, like, I can't even put a value on how valuable this is. Learning from others.
R&D is what they've
rob and duplicate.
Now, you don't, not so much duplicate, but you listen to what they've done.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I'm going to take that.
Just do it. Implement it, right? So think about these lessons. And if some of this is new to you, like, man, I've never been through that. I didn't think about that. How can you implement this into your own business so that you don't have some of the same hardships that maybe we did? So we're here just to learn from each other.
If you're early on in your business and you've caught one of these 20, put something in the comments. If something you want to reach out to us to say, hey, I'm here. I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
What can you help me with?
Yeah, we'd love that. We'd absolutely love that.
Yeah, and once again, we didn't have that. We didn't know where to go.
Yeah, we do now.
We do now, yeah.
And it's a game changer.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. So, all right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Travis, thanks for joining me again today.
Thank you.
All right. And I will look forward to seeing you next time on the Lasting Business Solutions podcast.